morning, Joe.
How are you today?
Doing okay.
On a rainy
How about
Tuesday.
yourself?
We're well here, thank you. Everything's going well. How's the city making its way through the pandemic these days?
Well, early weekend, the numbers were good. Yesterday we had a tough day. We had 15 new cases yesterday. Saturday we had 2. Sunday we had 3. So, it's been up and down. As you know, as we talked about, we're pretty steady for a long time here in the green. Then we went to the yellow. We keep hitting these higher numbers, and we could be in the red before long, Mm-hmm. So it's and I know that it's going up statewide. I know there's a number of states spiking. It's obviously a difficult thing to pin down, but just keep doing what we're doing, I guess. I mean, one of the tough news on the weekend was Billy McNoser and Cindy, their place, the Fruit Basket over on Granite Street. They closed down. A couple of employees there that had contracted the virus, and certainly for the better health, they decided to close. And they've asked actually people if they've been in there over the last week and a half or so to contact the health department to check in, because we do the tracing and try to pin everything down as best we can. So it is what it is, as they say, right?
Yeah, it's and you're right. It's not just unique to Quincy. Certainly, I think maybe as more folks are spending more time indoors, and the weather's starting to turn, and of course we had some holidays not too long ago, long weekends where folks might have been getting together. All those things start to show up in the testing later on.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah.
Does it impact the plans to go back to remote or hybrid learning on Thursday?
No, not at this time.
Okay.
I mean, one would argue if this had happened 2 weeks in and they were pinpointing it to the schools, then I guess it's a different argument. But, none of this is pinpointing to the schools. So I think it's full steam ahead at this point.
Yeah. What is the actual plan now starting on Thursday?
So on Thursday we have grades 4 through 12. Originally it was going to be 4 through 8, and then a couple weeks later, 9 to 12. But we, as a school committee, made the decision to skip the phase 3 and just go right into phase 2. Now, many kids are still opting to remote, even with the hybrid. So, the numbers in the schools, the concern about, too many kids, the CO2 levels and all those things, I don't think it's really going to be a factor at all because of the amount of kids that are doing remote. So, it's the team has worked very hard, Kevin Mulvey and his team, on getting prepared and ready for all this. So we appreciate that. The teachers, the principals, the staff, cafeteria workers pumping the food out, custodians showing every day doing their thing, secretaries and paras, and it's a team effort, and they've worked very hard over there. So we appreciate that, and let's hope for the best.
Yeah, the obviously there is a plan if things worsen. Correct.
That's correct.
Yeah.
There's always the option to pull back and go full remote once again. I'm not a big fan of the remote for a lot of reasons, and I think down the road, as I've talked about a number of times with you, Joe, I just think the other negatives to that might not being in class, the social disorder issues, the mental health issues. Some kids may not have a great home life. There's a lot of reasons why I think the kids should be in school. Obviously, we want it to be a safe experience, and that's why we're going through all the effort that we are in coordinating this program now with the hybrid. So see what happens, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah. I know that the Community Preservation Committee meets this week, and you have a couple of requests before them, if you could explain for us, Mayor.
Yes, we do. This fall, we had anticipated a little bit more aggressive schedule with the City Council. And over the last 6 or 8 months, there were a couple of development proposals that folks were not too excited about and, quite frankly, pushed heavy back on them. Ian Kane, the Ward 3 councilor, put a resolve in last session there during, I'm losing track of time with the pandemic, Joe, but several months ago,
yes,
put a resolve in asking the city to take a look at whether we should take Gazera Harriet Ave. This is a parcel at the end of Harriet that goes up towards the golf course over in the marshes there, President's Golf Course, that is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one item before the Community Preservation Committee. And the second one is the Beachcomber site. When the Beachcomber announced they were closing and looking for a buyer, I was all for another restaurant going in there, or a restaurant. And obviously, the Beachcomber was more of a nightclub, and then really there were no takers on that. So the response has been far more aggressive to use that site, and a lot of opposition from the neighborhood, a lot of opposition environmentally from the state. As many people are familiar with that site, it drops way off over there, and it becomes below. Definitely in the floodplain, in some cases, in the Strand area, it's below sea level. So maybe it's just smart environmentally to take it, along with the Beachcomber, out of the community preservation monies, which is geared for that. It's geared for open space, parks and rec, and so forth. So we're glad the community preservation committee is looking at it, and then from there we'll then bring the package into the city council, assuming that it gets an affirmative vote at the CPA. So.
Any cost estimate on the parcels yet?
I think between the two of them, it's north of $4 million, and would probably bring in a little extra for demo and site work.
Right.
My guess is the appropriation will be in around 4.9 or $5 million.
Okay.
Again, would be paid for out of the community preservation funds that we garner each year between what people pay on the tax bill, and then the state gives us a percentage match.
Yep. Do you envision kind of a park setting, or just open, quiet open space? Not passive.
The Harriet Ave piece probably just clean up and it abuts the marsh and stuff over there. I don't think any formal park setting. I think the Beachcomber could have a little bit more of a park setting. Nothing aggressive or formal. Certainly no ball fields or anything, but it would be more passive. But we have some thoughts on how that may look, be along the water there, and its maritime connection, if you will. So that will come a little bit later, but for now we're looking to secure them, clean them up, and just make them safe.
Okay. Speaking of parks, I know there's a lot of work going on at Welcome Young up in North Quincy. How's that coming along?
Yes, as you know, we've been doing a ton of work in all the parks across the city, and Welcome Young has been at the latter end of the schedule, if you will. Can't do them all at once, right?
Yeah.
So Welcome Young is in a section of North Quincy called Atlantic. Actually used to be an Atlantic train station right up the street from Welcome Young.
Oh, I did not know that.
35 years ago. So it's a great spot. It's well used. It's a neighborhood that always been a neighborhood heavy with immigrants, and it's definitely a working class neighborhood. And so a neighborhood like that, a park space, is very, very important to those families. And so it has basketball, tennis, new playground equipment, beautiful trees planted throughout. Really looks great. So we're very pleased with the work that's been done there and overseen by Department of Natural Resources, Dave Murphy and his team.
Mm-hmm. Will there be kind of a ribbon cutting like there was at Kincaid?
That's the plan. In fact, I think there was one scheduled this morning, but I doubt that's going to go forward. But, it won't be probably as big as Kincaid. That was a huge project with a great draw on that neighborhood for that facility. But definitely we want to mark these occasions. Just because of the pandemic, I still think it's important that we mark these occasions and celebrate the progress we're making as a city.
Sure. Mayor, I have to ask you, any decisions made about Christmas parade or Christmas events in the city?
Probably make it official next week, Joe, but we're definitely leaning, towards canceling them, unfortunately. And the recent spikes we're seeing, doesn't make it easier.
Yeah.
Actually, it makes it easy to make the decision, I would guess. But,
right.
But we're going in the other direction, as some predicted for this fall as we get closer to flu season. So remind everyone to get their flu shots out there. Make sure you get your flu shots, and seniors, talk to your doctor about a pneumonia shot as well.
Mm-hmm. Good advice, certainly. And Veterans Day, we know, is canceled formally, but an informal event at Marymount Park.
There'll be an event right at the World War II Memorial, but no parade, and it'll be a brief ceremony to try to respect the social distancing.
Sure.
It's easier with an outdoor event, for sure.
Yes, yeah. Appreciate it, Mayor. Stay dry.
Hey, listen, I'm not complaining. We need this water badly, so this is okay. We'll take it.
Oh, I know. The ground is like concrete. It's so dry, so hopefully this will give a little bit of a break. Thanks again.
All right.
Yep.
Thanks, Joe.
Yep,
bye
bye-bye.
now.